Welcome back to a special edition of News Channel 8, where an emergency press conference by the police was held earlier this afternoon. News Channel 8's Wes Small covers it.
This entire weekend has been a busy weekend for us. And before I forget, I have Deputy Chief Graff out of St. Thomas on the line too. He was involved in all of the activity that occurred on St. Thomas this weekend. First, I'll start out with the incident on St. Thomas that occurred Saturday. And then, of course, we'll work our way to the incident that occurred today. At approximately 3 o'clock, shortly thereafter on Saturday afternoon, one of our officers observed gunfire coming from the area of Oswald Harris Court. He immediately called in that he had heard gunfire. He observed a suspicious vehicle leaving that area. He followed the vehicle. He was in an unmarked unit. He followed the vehicle for approximately a half mile. He was then joined by a second vehicle. This vehicle was a marked unit. They attempted to stop the suspicious vehicle. The vehicle refused to stop. At such point as they were pretty close to the area around Fort Milliner, it's when the suspects in the vehicle began shooting at police officers. As a result, a individual in a vehicle was also struck. An innocent bystander was also struck. The round went through her car door and struck her in the leg. We think that these injuries are not life-threatening. At this time, the officers did not return fire because of the number one, it was a crowded area, but they did continue to follow the shooters while on the gunfire. They proceeded approximately another half mile to the area near Marindal Hill, which is just, those of you that are familiar with St. Thomas, is near the cement company and the car wash. They followed those individuals up that hill, and once again they were fired upon by these individuals. I can honestly say that I'd have to compliment these officers for their heroic actions. They continued to follow the suspects while they were being fired upon. There were large caliber weapons that were later recovered that were used against the officers. One of the patrol cars was hit. The officers still continued their chase. They were able to catch two of the suspects. Firearms were recovered. Other evidence that I really can't go into now was also recovered at the scene.
I wanted to say that I want to compliment, first of all, the law enforcement for their awesome job they did this weekend and also this morning. Unfortunately, there was one loss of life, to my understanding, and of course, one loss of life is one too many. But I want to implore this time for the community of the Virgin Islands to please help us, to help law enforcement to make this place a better, safe, better place, not just for us, but for future generations. And with that, I open up my doors as chairperson of Homeland Security, Justice, and Public Safety to all law enforcement agencies here in the Virgin Islands so that together we can work once again to make this place a better place for all of us. On Wednesday and Thursday, let me start off with Wednesday, I am having an open house meeting at, I believe it's called Chicken Charlie's in East End. It starts at 6:30 between 8 o'clock. The public is invited. It's located in Estate Solitude, Chicken Charlie's in Estate Solitude. And on Thursday at the Senate building between 6:30 and 8 o'clock, I'm inviting the public to come and share with us their issues, concerns, and questions. So that on Monday and Tuesday, which is I believe the 23rd and the 24th, I'm going to have a committee hearing in which various agencies have been invited to testify.
Virgin Islands Police Department is endeavored to continue the war and the fight against these criminal elements that seems to be wreaking havoc in our community most recently. Coincidentally, this particular incident that started on Saturday afternoon came several hours after we had a 4-hour meeting with the Honorable Governor John DeYoung, where he summoned the police leadership into his office along with senior staff members and got a full briefing on some of the incidents that he had seen throughout the community, and also mandated from the Virgin Islands Police Department some step up and increased initiative to counteract these issues. You'll hear a lot about that a little bit later on. As the Commissioner have clearly indicated that we continue to see these AK-47s and AR-15s. It seems to be the weapon of choice. And they're fully automatic weapons. There's nothing good about these weapons except to do damage. Do damage to law enforcement, do damage to our general public. The police department has prepared our law enforcement officers to go up against these issues in terms of making sure that they have the proper equipment and supplies to get the job done.